The events depicted in the following video occurred several months ago. I realise that makes this video severely out of date, but I've been busy IRL. Sue me. Given that I don't even know the specific dates of when these things occurred, I will be using the in-game calendar. Bear this in mind, or don't. I don't care. Year of our Lord, 1031. Winter. It's very lonely. That might be because I'm on top of the keep. There's nothing important up here. It is, however, still a lonely thought that everything to the south of here is a husk of what it used to be. It's now a quagmire of empty castles, turncoats, and neutrals. It's also not our problem anymore. We have no formal ties to any of the remaining southern guilds. As stated in the official statement, it's time to look to our own defences. This is our land, not bound or secured by any alliance, but purely from the will of the Knights Templar and Micklegard alone. Our claims that make up the region comprise of our capital, Black Templars, and also Kingdom of Jerusalem, Acre, Edessa, Band of the Hawk, Knights of Bulwark, Black Templars Farm, and Black Templars Wood. Outside our immediate territory, we also have additional claims in Berg, Hohenfels, and Gamerreich. This is our clay, and we will defend it. I actually have an official statement here from the Grand Master of the Templars. Statement reads, Ashes get out. Let me just establish what the degree of threat is here. After we left CS, we courted offers from both RSH and TFA to join one or the other. After putting it to a vote to the rest of the clan, we decided to remain independent for the time being. The only reason I bring this up is because in the meeting with Ashenfell, in which I was personally there, so this is first-hand, they made a statement of intent. Not 100% if they meant to, but they did. I can't divulge too much information because it would be bad manners, it was a private meeting. But they made it clear they had an interest in our region, be it controlled by an ally, a vassal, or themselves. They wanted to control the entire southern part of the map. Also, just as a side note, the offer they gave us was actually very good. Again, can't give you details, but the offer they gave us on paper was a lot better than the one we got from TFA. Just to their credit. Our membership wouldn't have it though, they wouldn't fight beside Ashenfell after everything that had happened. But I digress. The thing is, the Templars, when you compare us to the other enemies of RSH, we're an insect. They had bigger fish to fry at the time. So that's the gist. From their perspective, it was a case of we would be assimilated or killed, but not in the immediate future. This actually gave us a good deal of freedom to roam the former CS land, since it was the smaller elements of RSH that were coming onto our land, and we could deal with them. Judgment Hour was becoming a lot quieter, since most of the guilds who hadn't been building their stuff on their town claim had either moved on or been destroyed. Most of the fighting, relatively speaking, was taking place in instance battles now, which meant the majority of the raiders we dealt with were not exactly the cream of RSH PvP. At the time, we comfortably looked after our territory. That's because nobody really attacked us. So we extended our reach into hunting enemies down south once again. We couldn't really find any bad guys down there, though. They Oh. Hello.
Oh shit. No, Scott. Is Ashenfell here? Fuck.
Everyone get to the roof, find them. You can get on their horses. On the horse. Finish him.
Johan.
Tell him that we just... Fuck's sake, sorry about that.
Good shot, guys.
Well, I was lucky. Also, I was joking earlier, we were actually responding to a threat against Black Angel's army. That's why we were down there. So we scouted BAA and found a bunch of enemies who had all packed their horses away for some reason, presumably as a show of force, and we charged them. With such ferocity, it caused the snow to melt. Don't actually know who they were. We think they were Legion of Krauts, but we don't know or care. Either way, we had swept the enemy away and protected an erstwhile ally that was seeking peace against that enemy. Good job, Templars. The next day, I had a peculiar sense of deja vu as we got word of a raid taking place at Micklegard. Let's hope this one goes better than last time. Seriously?
Can I come out now?
It did. It did go better than last time. The more perceptive among you may have noticed these raiders weren't Ashenfeld. These were the other elements of RSH, including the fake Jerusalem, South Slavs, and, this sort of region, okay? This is around here. You see, Ashenfeld were off fighting instance battles against TFA constantly, and it wasn't long before we joined the fray. We made ourselves regulars at TFA instance battles. Not as a significant compliment, mind, with the exception of some of our better PvPers, we were usually just make-weights. I requested to join 5 separate instance battles. I was accepted to 0. What's the matter with me? Is my constitution too low? Okay, yeah, probably is. I'll work on that. Either way, I wish I had some footage of instance battles. But I don't. You can thank TFA for that. To be honest, if you want to see an instance battle, just go and find them. They're all over YouTube. I'm sure there's even a ton of TFA ones. There's probably a bunch of Jerusalem ones by this point. Or Templar ones at this point, I should say. Either way, in the following few days there was only one significant event, that being another attempt made on Mikkelgard. I wasn't there when it happened, but from what I've been told, we repulsed the attack with heavy-ish casualties and no structures were destroyed. Sort of a win, I guess. Apart from that, we were left alone. In the end, we followed up on the vote from before about which offer to accept, either from TFA or RSH, and when it came time to vote, the decision was more or less made up for us. We'd only grown closer to TFA since we'd joined their instance battles, and the vote carried almost unanimously in favour of joining TFA. Thus came an end to our brief but interesting stint of independence. Literally the day after we joined TFA, something very peculiar happened. Ashenfeld went on hibernation. I seriously doubt we had anything to do with that, but who knows, maybe if we joined them something different would have happened, but I don't know. There's no point going into detail about it though, since they're back now. At the time though, it gave us a breather. We'd survived all the way into finding ourselves inside a stable alliance. Our goal was to survive, and we'd done just that. I call that a win. I went inactive after this though. So, unfortunately, this is where my story comes to an end. For the time being, at least. So it's a relatively short chapter, but still an important one, because this is where the Templars finally achieve long-term stability. And maybe I'll release another chapter, maybe I won't. Either way, there's going to be a big time jump, so this seems like as good a place as any to end Act 1, so to speak. Thank you for watching.